Sunday, Johannesburg's Kyalami Grand Prix circuit becomes the stage for horsepower with heart. The Supercar Rhino Run 2026 brings together more than 150 of South Africa's finest supercars and hypercars for a cause far bigger than the cars themselves. Now, in its fifth year, the event supports Rhino Connect NPO, which rescues and rehabilitates rhino calves orphaned by poaching. Joining us now via virtually is Tommy Roes, co-owner of Ferris Cars. Tommy, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Week in Review. For the benefit of our viewers who aren't too familiar with this event, how would you describe the Supercar Rhino Run and what makes it different from a typical motoring showcase? Also, what can families expect beyond the cars?
Good afternoon, Nicole. It's lovely to be here. Good afternoon to all of your listeners. Well, the Supercar Rhino Run, in essence, is a charity drive. It's a Mandela Day initiative, which raises money, milk, and awareness for orphans of rhino poaching. So, of course, it's actually the full name is the Rhino Run and Milk Drive. In essence, for the month leading up to Mandela Day, we engage with communities and schools and businesses to help us to collect as much fat-free, long-life milk as possible. Obviously goes to the orphanages. And then that event then culminates with a big supercar run on or around Mandela Day. And that just happens to be tomorrow, ending here at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit.
So, of course,
so in terms of what... go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Tommy.
So, yeah, just in terms of what can be expected, we have an enormous gathering of supercars, which will be coming into Kyalami tomorrow from about 10 o'clock, including a supercar parade, which is just such a wonderful nation-building opportunity. We've got family, we've got friends, we've got spectators, waving flags, all South African music. We've got some incredible activities going on in the skid pan, supercars doing donuts and supercar gymkhanas. And then, of course, you know, the main event is the Guinness World Record attempt, where we will try to set a Guinness World Record for the largest display of supercars and hypercars ever.
If I'm lucky, Tommy, I'll make my way to Kyalami tomorrow because if anyone knows me very well, I love engines. So I definitely would love to be there around all those supercars. What I'm interested to know from you, Tommy, is what was the thinking around linking something like, you know, your motorsport, if you look at supercars, to rhino conservation?
So I'll tell you how it started, and it started like many of these initiatives do, with something that you had seen or experienced that touched your heart. And for me, that happened a couple of years ago where I'd seen this post on social media, you know, of somebody feeding an orphaned rhino with a bottle of milk, and obviously hearing the tragic story behind that, and then figured that if I was ever in a position to be able to do something about that, that this is the cause that I want to support. And we acquired the business, Ferris Cars, in 2020. And of course, first opportunity, next Mandela Day, we a phone call to a couple of our clients, and suddenly we had 30-odd Ferraris on a breakfast drive. Everybody bringing milk, and it's just spiraled from there to grow into this massive occasion that it is today. So something about connecting the passion and excitement behind supercars with a good cause. Orphaned rhinos, the scourge of rhino poaching. Getting families, getting kids. I mean, kids are the main spectators for us because ultimately they're the future custodians of our heritage and our wildlife. So it's to help them to understand that these things need to be protected and preserved, and what better way to do it than to put on a heck of a display with some supercars and hypercars, get them all excited.
So when you speak about a good cause, what I'm quite interested to know is, and I think some of our viewers who might want to get involved would like to know this as well, exactly how are the funds raised? I presume you'd look at your, event ticket sales, vehicle registration fees for those who want to participate in the convoy. You also spoke to the fat-free milk for the rhino, so I presume there is some sort of milk collection as well?
Well, of course, we encourage all the public to bring milk to various type of points, and of course we go and visit schools, we take a couple of cars and have the kids all out in the grandstand and rev the engines and get them all wired up with some prizes. And so of course there's a big drive to collect as much milk as possible, but of course you can go onto the website rhinorun.co.za and actually make a physical cash donation for milk. And the thing about collecting milk is it's obviously a bit logistically challenging, especially when the piles start to pile up. And so, of course, donations are possible, but then, of course, yes, through ticket sales in the day, and of course, the sponsorships of all of our incredible partners that come on board to support us every step of the way.
Tommy, in these tough economic times, how have you managed to bridge the spirit of giving and those who would love to give but simply can't? I mean, there are many who actually would love to give, but they genuinely can't, of course, as their resources have been stretched to the limit. So how do you go ahead and curb that, or try and encourage people to still go ahead and assist as it pertains to rhino conservation and be involved in events like these?
I think that's why it works so well, because the entry point is so low. It's a litre of milk. If you go to your local Spar, you're talking, 15, 16, 17 rand for a litre, and every litre counts. And of course, we do understand that, of course, Kyalami, there is a price to get in. We have discounted those tickets to bring as many of the general public as possible. And look, and I tell you, the best answer to that question is that South Africans have a way of coming together when it truly matters, especially for a good cause. And that's what we've seen with this year, with this event year on year. South Africans just come out in their numbers, and it's absolutely beautiful to see.
Tommy, very quickly before we go, I think we do have a bit of a bad line there, but very quickly before we go, please, just looking beyond 2026, tomorrow's event, what is the bigger vision for Supercar Rhino Run, both as a motoring event and as a conservation platform?
So, of course, the primary objective here is to raise as much awareness as possible for the plight of rhinos. Of course, poaching is still such a significant issue in this country. And as time goes on, we will aim to get bigger and better and bring more communities and people on board, set more records as we go. And I think that's the point, is that this Guinness World Record attempt on Sunday, which we will absolutely smash, I can assure you that, that goes out to a global audience, and it really pushes that message out beyond our borders. And I think that's also very much where it matters. So we have every intention of building this event. It's already the biggest supercar event in the country by far, and shows no signs of slowing down. Finally,
for our viewers who are watching, what is your message to those who may not be petrol heads like myself, but who care about wildlife community and, making a difference?
Yes, the message would be just be mindful of what's going on. This is very real. It's very current. It's happening in real time. The amount of poaching going on right now is significant. And even though it's not in the public space, and I think a lot of people have become numb to it over the years. I mean, you remember a decade or so ago, we all had those red cones on the front of our bonnets of our cars. And of course, the public just generally become numb to it. So, our message, it's just about awareness. It's just so that, people understand what the issues are, and it's still currently very real. And it's up to all of us to help to protect the heritage wildlife of this beautiful country. And that's very much, I guess, in line with the hopes and dreams of Madiba himself.
Tommy, give us the Supercar Rhino Run platforms, please, just before you go. We might have some viewers who are watching who actually might want to go ahead and go to Kyalami tomorrow ahead of the World Cup final. That's, of course, happening as well. So if there are any tickets still available, where do people go to purchase these tickets? If others are interested in donating, whether it is milk or donating in a monetary sense, which platform do they go to? Where do they find you?
Sure. So you can follow us on all popular social media channels. It's at Supercar Rhino Run, at Ferris Cars SA, otherwise rhinorun.co.za, and absolutely, there's still tickets available, and you'll get tickets at Ticket Pro.
Thank you so much for that, Tommy, and we'll definitely keep our pulse on the activities happening at Kyalami tomorrow.